Every business consultant knows this story. A founder who built everything from scratch, now trying to hand over the reins to a thoughtful younger successor. Sounds smooth in theory until the handover starts. The father says he's too cautious. The son says he doesn't listen. He wants to keep doing things his way. And you, the consultant, end up somewhere between therapist and hostage negotiator. So let's tackle the real question. How do you guide generational leadership without taking sides, losing authority, or becoming the emotional dumping ground of the family? If you've ever thought families are too emotional to do behavioral work, how on earth will I ever get a proud founder to take a behavioral test? Stay with me. In this case study, I'll show you exactly how the EPI-test helped a father-son duo running a chain of retail shops map their behavioral gaps, their generational gaps, and co-design a new vision to create a 5-year expansion plan together. I know what you're thinking. Family businesses are too emotional for tools like this. And you're right, family businesses are emotional. That's exactly why you need a neutral language. When blood and business mix, feedback gets tangled with identity. Are you saying I'm not good enough? Are you saying my father doesn't trust me? The EPI-test cuts through this mental noise. It doesn't judge personality. It maps behavior under the daily business pressure. And that's why it works beautifully when emotions run high, because you're not telling them who they are. You're showing them how they operate on a daily basis with the business and with each other. And when both generations can see that visually on a map, conversations suddenly get rational again. Let me show you. Here is the family, owners of a successful chain of retail shops in shopping malls. The father, who you can see on the left side of the screen, built the business from scratch. Pure drive, instinct, survival. Look at his EPI-test. Right? He's got a clear vision, he's self-reliant, self-esteem, he's disciplined enough to get things done, he's quick, and he's determined, he's got grit, he's goal-oriented, and he just uses his relationship skills to get what he wants done. He's a builder, a doer, the type who says, if you're not moving, you're in the way. So that's our dad, right? Let's look at his son on the right-hand side of the screen. He's more reflective and analytical and empathetic. Check out his empathy, super high. He loves collaborating and taking care of people. He's extremely ethical and his assertiveness is really low. Brilliant mind, deep thinker, but hesitant in execution. So you can feel the collision coming, right? The father pushes, decide faster, do this, move here, why haven't you done that? And the son retreats, I need to analyze before moving or doing something. The father interprets caution as weakness, and the son experiences pressure as criticism and judgment. Now, as a consultant, how do you mediate this without becoming the villain for one or the other? And that's where the EPI-test changes the game. We sat down together, side by side, looking at these two maps. No labels, no judgments, just two systems reacting differently under pressure. And I explained to the father, you built this empire by acting first and learning later. And your son, he's wired to learn first and act later. Both methods work, but they need to synchronize. So the father realized that his son wasn't indecisive or weak. He was reflective. And the son realized that his father's push wasn't anger or judgment or criticism. It was anxiety to protect the business in the only way that he knows how. From that point, we shifted the focus, not who's right, but how to blend. So they agreed on clear behavioral targets for the son's growth: assertive delegation, results-based management, timely corrective feedback instead of avoidance because of his high empathy. Meanwhile, the powerhouse of a father committed to stepping back and using structured updates instead of spontaneous micromanagement. 3 months later, the father said, "I'm starting to trust his space." And the son said, "I'm starting to lead without asking permission or feeling him watching over me." They then mapped their 5-year vision together to double the number of stores and double the revenue, but with a new management model built on shared behavioral awareness. And that's what consultants can do when the EPA test enters their rooms. Turn legacy tension into co-creation with a really new level of awareness. But how do I convince the patriarch to take the test? This is great, but how do I take the founder, the man that built it all, to take the test? And, the founder can say, they have said it to me, "I built this with my hands. I don't need a test to tell me who I am." Well, here is how you approach it. You don't ask him to take a test. You invite him to make the transition smoother for his son and to safeguard what he has built on his own. You can say something like, "You have built something extraordinary here. This tool helps your next generation carry it forward in your spirit and not lose your legacy." So you appeal to what he has done, to his pride, to his accomplishment, right? You don't talk about psychology and behavior, because once they will see their map and you deliver the report, I assure you they will not feel analyzed. They will feel seen and recognized and understood. And that's when their resistance melts. If you are wondering about another possible objection, will this expose private conflict? I tell you, only if you let it. The EPA test isn't about revealing secrets. It's about translating emotion into observable structure. Let me pull up the test again. When you show them that their differences have logic, that they make sense, the conflict diffuses, the judgment diffuses, they are both right. They both bring value. The father stops feeling accused, the son stops feeling misunderstood, and you, the consultant, stop mediating arguments and start designing real alignment for the future. Succession fails when control transfers without awareness. The EPA test makes awareness very visible and understandable for both generations, and it gives you a blueprint for how to train, delegate, and eventually let go without breaking the family or the business. And that's pretty powerful strategy. If you're a business coach or a consultant working with family companies and you want to turn emotional transitions into structured successions, get in touch with me. We'll look at one of your real client cases and we'll see how the EPA test can give you the clarity to guide both generations confidently. Because legacy deserves structure, and behavior is the bridge that takes you there. Talk to you soon.